Hello, everybody. Welcome back to this week's topic. Today, we are going to be talking about postpartum and depression. We are going to have we're going to have 2 weeks of postpartum depression. This week, we're going to be focusing on the understanding of what depression and postpartum struggles are. I'm not qualified to talk about postpartum depression. I have not went through it. So today, I have with me Alice and Ruth, and they're going to be answering some questions I have to kind of help somebody who may be struggling or maybe needing a mom to relate to. Next week, we are going to be ending off our postpartum and depression. So next week, we'll be discussing more recovery options, treatment options, resources, that kind of stuff. And then we will have a Q&A on postpartum depression part 1 on Monday, December 8th from 4 to 5. So please add in any questions or concerns at our email, ken@hopeandanswers.com. That will be in our bio if you didn't catch that. So to get started with today, how are we feeling today, guys?
I'm feeling stressed out. I'm not a podcast person, but I'm going to do my best. That's how I'm feeling.
I'm doing just fine.
I'm feeling relaxed because I don't have to answer any of these questions. I just have to ask them. So I'm having a good time today.
Good.
You get a break.
Yes.
You get a break.
Yes. So getting right into it, what is postpartum depression? I want to add in here before I start talking that postpartum depression can happen 6 months before you even give birth. It is a myth that you have a baby and then there's postpartum depression. That's a myth. It doesn't always happen that way, and it can happen 6 months before you have that kid and can last 18 months after you give birth. Probably longer, but I don't know. I don't have postpartum depression, or I have never went through it. But what postpartum depression is, it's a form of depression because of childbirth or because you're pregnant, kind of based on hormones, but it gets a lot deeper than that. It's a lot deeper than what you would consider like baby blues. Baby blues last for a few days, maybe a few weeks. Postpartum depression is a lot more severe than that. It's caused by hormonal shifts, physical exhaustion, emotional overwhelming, and lifestyle changes. You just had a kid and you're in a completely different world with completely different priorities. To get into our prompts today, I want to ask you guys, when you had your first baby, what were the emotions and experiences that surprised you the most?
Do you want me to go first, or do you want to?
I don't care. Go first.
So when I had my baby, I actually disassociated from it, disconnected with the world.
Yeah.
I just blanked out for a while, and it took me a while to be able to come here, honey.
Don't mind the moment of crying, tears.
There are mothers in the room.
Yeah.
It happens.
It happens.
But I suffered really from postpartum rage the most, which that is kind of
Right here, honey. Come right
the
here.
deeper end of depression, I would say. But I cried every day. The slightest cry from my child, it was game over for me. I tried to deal with it on my own. Don't do that. Not good. It puts you down into a deeper downward spiral. My OBGYN was very, very helpful through the whole process. She had put me on a lot of people are against antidepressants. Honestly, that's what saved me from a lot of things, because it just got me to balance out.
I had to get on antidepressants too, because my postpartum was so severe. I was starting to see things. But on the bright side, after my daughter was born, I don't know if you felt it, but I felt like a sense of relief. Like, she's out, I'm a mom, she's healthy. And I was just relieved that I wasn't pregnant anymore, because I hated being pregnant. Hated it. And it wasn't a bad experience, sick-wise and whatever. I didn't want to be pregnant. And so postpartum did start pretty early for me. Yeah.
I was sick through first trimester, second trimester, third trimester. I was on infusions 3 times a week.
Oh my.
I was sick all the way up until I had my son. But I didn't really have it too bad before I had my son. It really hit me after I had my son. But it went from depression for a couple months to just straight rage.
Really?
Like I just raged. It was scary.
Did it feel like you were understood by anybody
No.
during these times?
It was like me against the world.
Mhm.
It did feel like that. I did have like females that were like, hey, I do kind of understand what you're going through, but in another sense, even though they did understand in a way, I don't feel like they fully understood, just because I don't know, it just feels like you're alone even when you're not alone.
Like I had a great support system.
Yeah, I had a great support system too, and I still felt alone.
Yeah.
Okay. Last question I have for you right now is, if you're comfortable, can you share the moment you realized that this wasn't just baby blues? It was something deeper and something that you might have to seek help for.
I'm gonna touch on the postpartum rage. So when I had my son, about a month or so later, like he was just crying constantly. It wasn't colic. It wasn't. I was a new mom. Didn't know really what to do. Still figuring it out. I'm a single mom. I mean, my parents helped me. My grandparents helped me. Family friends helped me. But I still did a lot on my own. I just kind of blacked out in a way. Like I never hurt my child, nothing like that. But I just was imagining, like if no one.
Oh
was
yeah,
gonna
that was
take
terrifying.
if no one would take him from me, I felt like I was just gonna lose my mind and just lose control. It was like I felt unhuman, like with the like anger and just blood boiling that was happening, and it wasn't even his fault. It was nobody's fault. It's just he just was crying and it just triggered something in my brain, and I just was like, someone needs to take him just for his safety, my safety. Yeah, it was. And when I told my doctor that, she's like, okay, we're gonna figure this out right now because this is not okay.
Right.
And she didn't. I mean, my OB, she never judged. She's like, this is normal. It happens. I'm glad you actually came to me about it to talk to me. She goes, it's hard to do that, but if you feel just the slightest shift change, talk to your OB. They will help you. I had a great OB. I know some OBs aren't super great, but if you have a good OB, talk to them.
I don't really have anything too out of ordinary. I just felt like it was like an out of body experience, and like people would literally talk to me and I have no idea what they're saying. I just couldn't focus on what they're saying, and like she said, the dark thoughts, the sabotaging thoughts were there. So I just, yeah.
And I bet you probably held guilt on yourself for thinking.
For sure. Like I would have images of wanting to throw my child.
Right.
And that makes me feel awful because I love my child. And there's no reason I should feel that way in my mind.
Right.
Even though I'm going through this big hormonal change, you know? Yeah.
And confusing.
It really is.
Getting into the more prominent symptoms or the more common symptoms, it could be feeling disconnect from the baby. I've talked to a few people, and I've even had a family member who had a big problem with the disconnect with their baby. I know it can be normal, especially for the first few days, but with postpartum depression, it can last for a few months. And just not being able to have a bond or connect with your baby, or feeling overwhelmed or guilty. We just talked about, maybe that guilt we hold for some of the things we think during postpartum depression, which are normal things. They're caused by our hormones. So with withdrawal from others, we have that feeling of loneliness, that we can't talk to people even when we have great support systems. We have intrusive thoughts, difficulty bonding, feeling numb or detached, so maybe that disassociation, changes in your sleep or appetite, feeling like you're failing as a mom. Those are kind of the more common symptoms you see when it comes to postpartum depression. Now, after I listed these things, which one do you think kind of hit home for you guys the most?
The dissociation happened right when they put him on my chest. Like, it was immediate.
Yeah.
Like, after I pushed him out, I was like in a daze. Like, just
I totally
blank.
agree with that. I was just gone.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, hold your baby, do this. And I'm like,
You're just like not there.
yeah.
Like the motherly and the instincts to take care of a little human being was there. And you got to do what you got to do. But I totally agree. The first probably like 6 to 8 months, I don't remember any of it.
Yeah. I was just like,
I was so gone. Everything was just a blur. And it felt like nobody understood, even though there's plenty of people that understand. It just kind of feels like the world is heavy on you.
and I feel like it also becomes more of a struggle. I don't know if you breastfed, but the breastfeeding journey makes, like, don't get me wrong, however you feed your baby is great. I tried the breastfeeding journey. I struggled big time. Like, that was a huge reason for my postpartum. Just because I wasn't a huge producer. Like, I see all these people on TikTok, Facebook, like, they're massive producers.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm
They produce like gallons, and I
Yeah.
produce like maybe an ounce if I'm
Yeah.
lucky.
Yeah,
But
and
they pour down the drain. because
Literally.
it's so much.
Literally.
yeah, I could do, I'm like, this isn't even feeding my baby right. I have to supplement. And like, just that alone was so exhausting. Like, because I'm like, he's not getting enough. Or, just trying to do the positions and, it's painful, it's not painful. Are you draining enough? Just that, I think, made a huge difference. Like, once I finally switched him to just straight formula,
Yeah.
weight was lifted. I'm like, why didn't I just, like, I'm glad I did the experience, but I'm also like, why did I stress myself out to the point where I was miserable?
I think it's kind of a societal pressure in a sense.
Yeah.
Because I've noticed my family doesn't put so much pressure on me. It's literally society. It's like, oh, if you're not breastfeeding, you're not a good mom.
Yeah.
'Cause you're not doing what's
Or you're not
quote, unquote,
close.
best for your
Or you're
baby.
not
Yeah.
close with your baby. And
Yeah, and if you feel these certain type of ways, society kind of makes you feel like you're supposed to be feeling bad about yourself. If that makes sense. Yeah.
It's not. You're supposed to. Right. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's a journey.
and then, like, when you like pump and you only get that half ounce or 1 ounce, you just feel like you completely just failed. Like, you're like, I could have just made a whole bottle and just he'd be fed and fine for a while. And I'm over here like, here's an ounce. I'll try.
I've literally
later.
spilt breast milk and I've cried out loud because it's a lot of work on your body just for you to spill it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I did read a thing on TikTok that if you do spill milk, I guess people say it feeds the angel babies.
Oh, well,
That's a better way of looking at it.
that's a healthy way of looking at it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, like, it absolutely is sucks when but when I saw that, I was like, okay, it's sweet and I understand it, but I was like,
Yeah.
it still sucks because you're like, it's hard. I mean, it's hard work trying to
Yeah.
produce.
You're mentally exhausted and you're physically exhausted and then you're
Yeah.
breastfeeding on top of
Yeah.
it. It's a lot. But when it comes to the disassociation that you guys talked about earlier, how did that portray in like your day-to-day life when having a kid? Like conversations?
Yeah,
I really put myself on the back burner.
Yeah.
So like daily showers wasn't happening for me. Eating nutritious meals wasn't happening for me. Getting proper sleep, spending me time, none of that was happening. So my day to day, I would get up, care for the baby at like stupid o'clock, and then I would go to work, pump at work, and then come home to a screaming baby, still have to cook dinner, still have to do laundry. So like the day looks normal, but it really wasn't because I wasn't taken care of. It was just the baby.
It's kind of reminds me of like the functional depression.
Mm-hmm.
You can go do your day-to-day tasks because you have to and life moves on, but you're not there. And like
Oh, yeah.
you're on that back burner, which can, I mean, if you're trying to fill up somebody's cup and your cup's empty, it's hard.
Sorry for the baby talk.
Yeah.
It's just extra.
He wants to be included in things. is what caused postpartum.
Amen.
But we love our babies.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, you guys can talk about this stuff now, but in the moment, was it easy to identify these kind of things and talk about it with people?
I think it was easy to identify it because it's not necessarily a normal feeling
Right.
per se, but it was hard to talk about it, for me at least, because I was embarrassed and I felt ashamed and I felt like a bad mom,
Mhm.
you know, and it's like I have so much support around me, but I feel like I have to do it on my own.
And that's the unfortunate thing is like you do like logically thinking you have people and you have resources, but it's just that constant feeling of loneliness. And
Yeah.
I have to do it myself and I have to put myself on the back burner
And that's not how it should be, you know. It's just the part of the hormonal shift, really. It is.
and it's hard to understand even for the women going through it. So,
I've had plenty of times of crying and I have no idea why I'm crying,
right.
but I know I'm feeling wrong.
All the time. Yeah, that's it's kind of yeah, kind of like that. I don't want to minimize the feelings, but trying to give like a perspective of somebody who hasn't dealt with postpartum depression. Like
It hits you like a freight train. It hits you like a freight train, and you don't like. I mean, I was expecting postpartum, but I didn't think it was going to come on that strong because everyone tells you stories about their postpartum. And I'm like, okay, and if you deal with depression already, it sometimes can hit a little harder. But yeah, it hits you like freight trains, even if you're expecting it.
So did you think that you could like mentally prepare because
No.
of the things you learned, or no?
No.
No.
I don't think so.
I tried to because I was like, okay, everyone goes through it. Like, just gotta keep working through it. Like, it'll be fine. But I was not knowledgeable on postpartum rage. That's what threw me off guard because, depression, they're like, oh, you'll be sad, you'll do this. I never thought I'd ever think about throwing my child. Never even thought about that. So, like, when my OB was like, this is what this is, I'm like, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't even know it was a thing. So,
right, and we hear stories all the time on the news of people hurting their babies, and we don't know if it was because they were secretly struggling and it got to that point.
Yeah.
And that's why I really wanted to talk about this with you guys because I don't want that to happen to people. And a lot of the time we see people drown themselves, and I'm saying that in like a metaphorical sense, because they think that they have to deal with this alone and that they're the only person that is going through this right now and that they can't talk to anybody. And it does feel like that because most of the time you're not working, you're out of the hospital, and you're stuck in your house with your baby, trying to keep your baby safe and healthy.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to go nuts. It is really easy to go nuts. And it's easy for that postpartum to be over-consuming your life, even though no matter the circumstance, it's kind of going to feel like that anyway, because that's what postpartum is.
Postpartum is just a life-changing thing. Having a baby is a life-changing thing. And I really struggled with just trying to find my routine afterwards. Yeah. And I think that's what heightened my postpartum is just being so disorganized. And I don't know where I was going with that, but you get my gist.
Yeah. Well, it's trying to also just fit your baby in your day-to-day life. Like, you have a routine, that's what you do. Now you have
and now it's gone and you got to start from scratch.
Yep.
Or your routine, you may think you have it down, but something happens because that's life with kids.
Yeah.
And routine gets messed up,
and their whole life revolves around that.
Yeah. And their whole life revolves around you. So it's double pressure.
Especially ones who are sassy.
Yeah.
I'm glad you can agree.
Yes. Now going on to a little bit of the misconceptions in this, I want to talk about, I have a list of things you hear that are big misconceptions that I'm going to list off, and then I'm going to ask questions based on those. So number one is postpartum means you don't love your baby. And I mean that in the sense of feeling that disconnect or that disassociation. And so you're just kind of doing like that functional thing. You're just kind of, you're taking care of your kid, but you're not there. So it's kind of, I guess I could see it being hard to
love somebody.
Yeah, like, but you do at the same time.
Yeah. I would compare it to like loving a very distant cousin. It's like you don't hate them and you want the best for them, but you're not like in love with them. Not in love with them, but like that love, like you love your parent or your partner or something. Like it was really hard for me to get to the point where I'm like, I love the crap out of this kid. Because in the beginning, I didn't know her.
Right.
So it's like, you have to learn your baby.
I guess with my baby was my saving grace. He
Aw.
saved me out of a lot of things. He made me grow up. That's the word I need to use. He made me grow up. But I agree, it was very hard to like be like, oh my gosh, you are it. You are my true love.
And
like,
I felt bad about that because I thought I was I thought when the baby came out, I was gonna immediately
yeah, I thought there was gonna be a
feel
feeling.
this motherly, like, oh, I love this person so much. But I never felt that until she was probably a little over a year before I fully felt in love with my baby.
Well, and you see on like social media, you see all these women in fancy outfits, full head of like face and makeup, hair all beautiful, and I'm like,
Girl, how?
Hot mess. If it's not as beautiful as you see on social media, it's very scary.
Yeah.
You know, everything can go wrong, everything can go right, and then you can have good experience and you can have bad experience. I mean, I even had a great experience at like my nursing staff was great. My OB, love her to death. She was absolutely amazing. And even having that great experience didn't help make me feel any better. I mean, it made me feel safer, not as scared, but like that dissociation didn't help it at all, or that rage didn't help, or anything like that.
And that's hearing that's kind of the point of what I want to talk about is you can have the most perfect outcome, or you can try to make everything perfect or your situation perfect, but at the end of the day, it's postpartum doesn't discriminate.
Well, and here's another, this is kind of a scary actual story with him. So I was induced, I had my son 4 weeks early because I had preeclampsia, and I had an epidural, and I think I was at like 9 centimeters. He started decelling, so like, okay, well, we're gonna watch it. They positioned me. Well, it was time to push and everything, and actually his cord was wrapped around his neck twice.
Wow. And
even though they told me that, like, I was so disconnected with the world. Like, I felt like I was standing all over my bed. Like, I didn't even feel like I was in my body. So even hearing those words still didn't bring me back. Like, oh my gosh, be scared. Like, I felt like I was a ghost.
Yeah.
Like, even be like, because you hear all these things, like people are crying because they're so scared, and I'm like, I was in the corner of the room.
Yeah.
I wasn't even there.
Watching myself get burned.
Yeah. I'm like, I wasn't even there. And everyone's like, yep, we're like, stay calm, like, we're getting them, because it took him a little bit to start, crying and not be, because he was purple, like, very purple. And it didn't even faze me. It didn't faze me one bit.
I didn't hold my daughter the first moment she came out. I had a C-section, and right after a C-section, they will usually, depend on the hospital and the place, they'll let you hold the baby. And I was so out of it. I was like, I don't want to hold her right now. And so it was probably an hour, maybe 2 before I actually held my daughter. Because I was just, like you said, I was so disassociated. I literally cried out loud because I was just so not scared, but like, there's a word I'm looking for the feeling, and I just can't describe it because it's such a unique feeling that I had.
Yeah. And that, and on top of childbirth, is traumatic. It's
It
traumatic
really
on the
is.
body, extremely.
Mhm.
And so that definitely transfers to your mental.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Another thing you might hear is that it happens to weak moms. Like I said, postpartum depression does not discriminate. You can be the strongest person in the world. We've heard stories today from Ruth and Alice that they knew about postpartum depression, and they knew the things that are going to happen in a sense, but no matter what they did, it hit them full force. And that's what I mean by it doesn't discriminate. And they are two very strong individuals, so it doesn't mean that they're not going to have postpartum depression, because they did. And most moms do. And it's very normal.
It's common. We have to emphasize it is normal, and you're not alone, no matter what.
Ever. And there is, like Alice was saying, there is treatment. It doesn't always have to be medication, but in some circumstances, it gets to a point maybe you want to look into medication treatment, or you want to look into a deeper therapy or things like
I
that.
personally started going back to church.
Mm-hmm.
I know some people aren't religious, but I think the thought of somebody loving me forever, no matter what, helped.
And medication isn't a long thing. I was actually specifically on Zoloft. We were upping it for a while, and then I got to a point where I was like, let's try and wean myself off of it. And I haven't been back on it since.
Oh, good.
And my son's about to be 2. I was on it for about a year, almost a year and a half. So I've been free of it for quite a little bit.
And my daughter is 2, and I'm still taking antidepressants.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was my phone.
And everyone's different. Like, not everyone's going to be the same. And like some people, like I have PTSD and depression like before my son and everything, but like even having those before that, it never compared to postpartum. Never compared.
Postpartum is its own unique issue. It really is.
And that's why, because today was supposed to be like a depression, postpartum depression, but when I was putting it together, I'm like, these things are not comparable.
Mm-mm.
They are maybe in the same category, I'd say, but intensity-wise and severity, I could not make it the same topic. I feel like it would minimize the emotions, depression.
Just a little bit, honestly, because depression, you can still function even when you're high depressed.
Yeah.
But with postpartum, there's days I didn't think I could.
Yeah, I didn't think I could make it to the next day.
Like I don't even know what to say. Postpartum is just crazy.
Yeah.
That's where you start thinking like the thoughts you get on postpartum, you would never have seen yourself thinking that way. It's really just unhuman. Like the feelings are just unhuman. But it's okay. Like it's completely okay because it's normal. Everyone, some people say they don't go through postpartum. I don't.
Liar. You
that.
did something. You felt something.
Like it may be super mild, but everyone goes through it one way or another. Like you
Yeah.
can't tell me you don't. And that's okay. Like if you had a very mild case, great. I'm so happy for you for that. But normalized moms who are really struggling with it.
Yeah.
Don't rub it in their face like I didn't have that.
For real, my social media at least is the moms that go straight back to the gym after they give birth, or the moms that have a full face of makeup, or they're taking their 12 kids to the zoo. I don't know. It's like, how are you doing this?
Yeah, or my daily routine with my newborn twins, and it's like a perfectly set up day. And
For real. And it's like how I genuinely would like some advice on how you're doing that.
I think a lot of it's
Fake. Yeah, probably.
Because because you guys do have that underlying, like you said, like it almost felt embarrassing to talk about.
Mhm.
And so I think a lot of people take that and try to flip it and make it seem like they don't go through those things.
Yeah.
And do things like that, but I don't think it's fair because I'm trying to find the word. It's unfair to the moms who are like in the newborn trenches. And then you have these moms who think this propaganda, like the newborn trenches isn't a thing. To go on.
Jeez. No, you pooped on me. I can smell it on my pants.
Oh, we're having a little
Yeah.
we're having a mom moment.
Blowout 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
I hope it was
Anyways,
my language.
To get through this section, what's one myth you want moms to stop believing when it comes to postpartum depression?
one myth when it comes to postpartum depression. There's a lot of them, so I'm trying to think of which one is the most important.
I would say honestly, you can combine the two and say the myths about like that means you don't love your baby or that you're weak. I would say that should
Yeah.
like don't like get that out of your head real quick.
And it's so easy, like we talk about those negative thoughts, and in those moments, self-esteem is probably up the window.
Yeah, like when I had my son, all I wanted to do. No, it's okay. Like when I had my son, all I wanted to do was shower because that was what made me feel like a human being.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's the little things that make you
Right.
feel human again. And it's just the little things like brushing your teeth or changing your clothes or something. Like those are what helped me like get through the day. Like if I just changed, like kept the same clothes on and changed my socks.
Yeah.
Right.
Like sometimes that's all I got.
Okay. Moving on. Like I said many times, postpartum depression is normal. It needs to be more normalized because we do see on social media all the time these false narratives that we are having a perfect outcome as a first-time parent or even a second, third, fourth-time parent.
Mm-hmm.
Being a parent in general with a newborn, hormones, the lifestyle change, it is a lifestyle change, no matter if you're going from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4. Postpartum is normal every single time, and it is treatable, and it can be talked about no matter what kind of, like I describe it, I describe the negative, positive thoughts as a devil angel on our shoulders, and I know the negative thoughts and the devil and the angel, they're both talking. I know that. And it's not going to be easy. And there is resources and groups and people we can talk to. And I really want to get more specific on that next week on who we can go to, what we can do, the specific things we can do to better our experiences with postpartum depression because the experience itself is really difficult. Every mom is different and every postpartum symptom is different, but your feelings are valid and they're not a reflection of your worth or your ability as a parent. Everybody goes through postpartum depression and that doesn't make you any less of a good parent than anybody else, because at the end of the day you're trying your best even though you're going through it, and we all know, and your family, not everyone has a good support system, but it's important that we try to create one. Community is a good sense and a good
I even went to at the local clinic, there was a mom's group, and I really thought that was helpful. My biggest problem was the lack of sleep. Obviously, that's what comes with having a new baby.
Mhm.
But I was getting to the point I was seeing things,
Yeah.
and my daughter's face would freak me out.
Mhm.
Like, it was literally terrifying me. She'd be smiling, and I'll be like, "What? Don't look at me. I'm scared." But sleep training helped me so much. And in the moms group, they suggested a channel. Am I allowed to suggest channels?
Oh yeah.
Okay. On YouTube, there's a channel called Taking Cara Babies. And I got suggested that from a clinic mom.
Mhm.
And it helped so much. It pretty much teaches you how to train your baby to sleep at night, sleep in their own bed, have a routine. And that really did start changing things for me when my daughter started getting proper sleep, when I
Mhm.
started getting proper sleep, when I started being able to shower,
Right.
just having that routine helps get you a little bit back on track.
Yeah, because we give, as moms, you give birth and then you're given no pamphlet and it's just go home and figure it out.
You don't even hardly get drugs
Yeah.
afterwards, and you are in so much pain. They're like, no pain fence for you.
Nope, no pamphlet for you. And if you're breastfeeding, you have to watch what you're consuming on top of that and how much you're drinking water and all of the above. Definitely not something to undermine. But our last question for the day, Alice stepped out. She has like blowout 1 o'clock. For any mom who's listening who might be where you were, do you have anything you would say to her right now?
I would say don't be ashamed to ask for help. Because if you let it linger, you may or may not do something that you could regret.
Yeah.
Like cut your hair off or do something to your child like some people do on the news.
Right.
So that would be my biggest thing is find somebody that is safe to you and lean on them. And don't be afraid to lean on them because that's what they're there for. If they love you, they will stay there and help you through this time, whether it's a friend or a parent, that'd be my best thing.
Yes, beautiful. My closing thought today is a biblical thought from, I'm not going to say that because I'm going to butcher it, but the thought is the Lord is close to the heartbroken or to the brokenhearted. And that's just a reminder that God is with you in your hard times and he sees you if you think nobody else does. I know you mentioned you went to church and you found that unconditional love that, even if we do have people that unconditionally love us in our lives, sometimes reaching out to God and having that spiritual sense of unconditional love is something that can help us. Whether someone is dealing with depression or postpartum depression, their struggle is not a sign of weakness. It is a moment where God draws near. Healing is possible, support is available, and no mother is alone in this journey. If you feel like you need to seek help, help is available. Even if you don't feel like you need to seek help and you're going through postpartum depression, talk to somebody, find a community, do what you have to do for you and your child. And we will talk more about this next week. We will end up with talking about resources, like I said, getting more into depth of what we can do for ourselves and maybe how we can find a routine for us and our new lifestyle and our child. Please submit any questions if you have any to ken@hopeandanswers.com. That'll be in our bio. We will have postpartum part 1 Q&A again on December 8th, on Monday, December 8th, 4 to 5 p.m. And I will see you next week. Thank you for listening.